Good afternoon, everybody, and a very warm welcome to Milton Hall and District. And my name's Susanna, and I live with trains. And today is all about locomotives and multiple units. There's a lot to talk to you about, and lots of projects on the go, lots of items that are either new or maybe have arrived recently that you may not have seen. So we're just going to crack on and talk to you about all the various locomotives around here. Not all of them. But the ones that I would like to talk to you about, because a lot of them you haven't actually seen, and some of them have arrived at different periods. Obviously, with me being off YouTube for the last sort of 3-4 months, earlier on in the year, some stuff has arrived within that period which you haven't actually seen, or haven't spoken to you about. So I'm going to talk to you about them now. So the first locomotive I wanted to talk to you about is this two-tone green class 47. Now, this arrived probably about 6 weeks ago, probably 8 weeks ago. But anyway, regardless, this is a Hornby Railroad class 47 with TXS sound. Now, I really wanted to try TXS sound, and I really wanted a two-tone green class 47. I was thinking of trying to get hold of a Batman one. But they go for quite a lot of money, and to be honest with you, like I said, I was intrigued by the TXX sound, and as it so happens, the Hornby Railroad Plus, they released this version, which is a two-tone green with TXS sound already on board, as opposed to buying the chip separately. So basically, it was an all-in-one package. So I decided that I wanted to try this one, and I'm very, very pleased with it. Now, I did have some issues with it, and it's the same issues I had with another one that I bought, which arrived this week, which you'll see shortly. Basically, these are all-wheel pickups, but it's still a very light locomotives, and I had to put a power bank in it because it used to keep stuttering all the time. And I think with the additional weight, and that's the thing that these Hornby Railroad locomotives do suffer with, is essentially weight. There isn't a huge amount of weight in them, and they do really need more weight in them to create the traction that it needs, to make a better connection with the rails, to again make sure that the connectivity is there so it doesn't stutter and splutter and then cut out the sound. So this one's actually got, so I bought this one, I think I paid about just over £100 for this. I think it was about 130 or something, 120 or something like that. But then again, with the Stay Alive, I think that's how it came. I think that's how I paid, because I think I bought the Stay Alive separately. So that was another £15. But I really do love it. I wanted it for the Heritage Line, and especially as the Heritage Line was sort of coming to a head in terms of how it was coming along, I really wanted to get some more rolling stock for the Heritage Line, and I thought, what an ideal opportunity to get this and try out the TXS sound with a budget Class 47 loco, and I'm really, really pleased with it. So here in front of you is another budget Class 47, and this is the Hornby Railroad Plus version of the Rail Operations Group 47812. Now, I got this one as part of an exchange deal, and that I did with Terry over at Hampshire Models. And this was the 47 that was running around faultlessly on the cab ride. And it ran, like I said, it ran absolutely faultlessly, no problems at all, considering it's a cheap railroad version. And there's nothing actually wrong with these locomotives. Okay, they haven't got this sort of all singing and dancing and extra bits and pieces. One of the reasons why I wanted to get this 47 was because I actually had a spare TTS decoder for a Class 47, which I'd kept from a different locomotive, which I got rid of. And I really wanted to use it again. And so I ended up buying this one, or getting this one, I should say. And this is just like I said, this was just a Hornby Railroad Plus version, Rail Operations Group, Class 47. It wasn't DCC fitted or anything like that. It was just DCC ready. I just happened to have an old Class 47 TTS chip, and I thought, let's knock it into this and see how it sounds. And like I said, as you heard in the cab ride video, it sounds and it ran faultlessly. So I've got absolutely no complaints over this budget Class 47 locomotive. It does exactly what it says in the tin. And if you're a beginner, this 47 and the green 47, they're all great locomotives to start with. We now come on to this Class 47. Now this Class 47 is a totally different kettle of fish, because this one is the All Singing and Dancing Class 47 by Heljan. And this has got all the super detail, it's got all the lighting functions and all the rest of it. Unfortunately, it didn't have sound, because what I actually did is that previous 47 you've just seen, the TTS chip on it, I actually put on into this one here. And although it worked, because obviously DCC's moved on such a long way from the early days, that now we have such things as cab lighting, independent lighting, and so I couldn't get all the lighting features that I wanted out of that chip. So at the moment, it's just got a standard DCC chip in it, and I would like to put sound in it. And this is Aldeburgh Festival, and it's 47,596, I believe it is. And I used to see this a lot at Paddington. It's one of the reasons why I bought it. I used to see it at Paddington all the time when I was train spotting back in the days. And I love the fact that it's got the black Domino headcode box. I love the fact it's got the white window surrounds. So it was a no-brainer. The only problem is that the original Heljan price for these things was absolutely ridiculous. I think the original recommended price for this was like $249.99 DCC ready, I think it was. And then it came, but most retailers were selling it at $212. But I wasn't going to pay $212 for this. And then Rails came up, because I'm on their mailing list, as is most people, I should imagine. And they were doing these at a special price, which, to be honest, wasn't really a special price at all. They called it a bargain price, but I still paid $160 for this. And that is about on par for what you'd pay for, say, an Akira scale DCC ready locomotive. So, you know, it's not particularly a bargain even at that price. But nonetheless, I love it. And it's really good, because now I've got the Heritage line up and running. I can have a random selection of basically run anything you like locomotives on the layout. Now, this next set I wanted to talk to you about was this Class 33. And behind it, it's got the Bachmann 4TC unit in the BR blue. Now, this just goes back to my Bluebell Railway trip that I did, and I was behind the Class 33, not this particular one that you see in front of you, but essentially this is a recreation, and this is all about memories. And I've travelled on the 4TC set with a Class 33, and I wanted it on my layout because I really liked it. And as it so happens, I can't remember what exhibition it was, but on the day that I bought the 4TC, there was a big exhibition going on somewhere. I can't remember where it was now. And basically, because Kerno Models was selling it at the exhibition at a special price, that means that all their tills had to be adjusted accordingly. And so therefore, even the ones in the shop, so even if you didn't go to the exhibition, if you bought it on that day, and I got lucky, I bought it on the day that the exhibition was on, it was sold at the reduced show price. Now, the original price for the 4TC, which those of you don't know, it's obviously that little bit there, was $279.99. But at the time, they were doing it for $200. So I actually bought that 4TC set for £200 at the time. The Class 33, that particular little kiddie there, was at a bargain price with Rails of Sheffield, and that was going for $99.99 brand new, not second hand. It was $99.99 brand new. So I was really pleased with that. So I bought that, and I'd seen the Class 33, this particular one being reviewed. I think it was Model Loco or someone like that had been reviewing it, and they said how good it was, and I wanted to get another blue 33, and obviously to go with my trip on the Bluebell Railway anyway, and create the consist. And if you just sort of see a bit more, you can sort of see it. And it's a great set to have, and it goes on my Heritage line. Another 33 which turned up is this one. I've had this one a few months now and I absolutely adore it. I love it to bits. I actually made a bit of a mistake with this one because I actually wanted to get one with the headlight on it, and but I actually didn't realise it. But nonetheless, I'm very, very pleased with it. I didn't realise it at the time. This was also going as a bargain, and it's a Heljan 33, and I've had it for about, I don't know, I think it's about 3 months now or so, and it's an absolute gorgeous Class 33. I actually love my 33s, they're really nice. So I'm really pleased with that. So that's what it looks like. So that's a Heljan 33. Alongside with that one is, we're going to look at, just briefly, because I did a video on this one. This is an Acura scale. Let's just actually get past the foliage there. Is a Class 31 in the Network Rail by Acura scale, and this is the sound fitted version. So I did do a video on this briefly, so I'm not really going to go too much into detail, but needless to say, I absolutely adore it. So here is my pair of Network Rail HSTs. Now, I've had these for ages. The reason why I mention it to you is because I actually did a project recently on basically redoing and converting a Lima HST. The last time you saw, I'm just not on my tripod. The last time you saw the banana train, it was actually with the Cola set. The Cola stroke LNER stroke EMR set on the front and the back. But this is actually the proper Flying Banana buffered set that I've got. So I just thought I'd show you that. And here is the HST that I'd converted from a Lima HST into 43062. So that's nicely finished, done and put to bed. So I'm really, really pleased with that. That's come out really, really well. And I'm really pleased with the graphics. I'm pleased with the colour. I'm pleased with the way it runs and the way it turned out. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with this one. Whilst we're on the subject of HSTs, this HST set, you may or may not have seen on the layout. I've had this for ages. I bought it shortly after my trip to the Midhants Railway Diesel Gala last year. And these two turned up for the Diesel Gala, along with another 40C set, which I'll just show you shortly. Now, one of these is 43,480. Now, that turned up for the Diesel Gala for the Midhants Railway, but the other one didn't, because they've got a few of them, but one of them did. And basically, I wanted to recreate my memories of having that. And so I've got this HST set, which I think is absolutely beautiful. It runs sweetly. It hasn't got sound in it. It is a Hornby HST set. And it ran with this London Underground 40C set, which I still haven't opened. I've had it for ages and I haven't opened it. And the reason why I haven't actually opened it is because I've been working on the railway, on the Heritage Line, and I haven't really got much space to put anything anywhere. So I didn't really want to take it out, because it's one of those units that once you couple together, you've got to leave them coupled in together because of the way the pins are set up. So I really didn't want to sort of break it open and then have to just kind of spread it out again, or break it apart again, because I needed to remove it off the layout. So that's why it's still in its box. The reason why the other 40C and the 33 are out is because I'd already had it out previously. So I'm looking forward to running that. And that was run with the 66 that I've got, which is also on the Watercress line, and also the HST set, which I've just showed you, just sneaking behind there. So I just wanted a quick word on Bob. And this is Bob here, our 2-car 101 DMU, which is reclassed as a 960. We have Bob. He's called Bob because there's a driver at the front, and I call him Bob. And Bob, he's the reason why I want to have a quick word with him is because I actually had a BR Green 121, which wasn't running right, and I got rid of it, and it's just really annoying me. And it had sound in it. So basically, I've now taken out the sound chip out of that and given it to Bob because Bob deserves it. And Bob's been doing sterling work on the layout. He does a lot of testing for me, and actual testing. I do use my actual test trains as test trains on the layout whenever I'm doing work they're always the first ones on the layout, are the yellow ones. And when I was doing all the heritage work, he was doing a whole load of testing for me, Bob. So it was kind of fitting just to give him that sound chip. So I've just plonked the sound chip in that, and now it's got the sound chip of the diesel, of the 1121. So it sounds absolutely awesome. So I'm really pleased with it, and it now runs really lovely with sound around the layout. So I'm really pleased with that. So now we're going to talk the Class 73. Now, anyone who knows me will know that I have a very fond love of the Class 73. The Class 50s have always been my favourites. I've always liked the 73s and the HSTs. Now, the 73s, like I said, my memories of 73s, as I've mentioned this before, it's like I used to ride on them as a kid a lot to go to Gatwick Airport on the Gatwick Express when they were using the 73-2s before they started bringing the Junipers and all that kind of stuff. And I used to love riding them all the time. And that's why I have kind of a fond memory of the Class 73. I don't actually have a Gatwick Express 73 here, actually. I'd love to get hold of one, but I haven't got one. And maybe I should. And I have 8 73s to show you. Again, this isn't a fleet review of all my stuff, but this is actually all of my Class 73s. I do actually own 8 of them. And the reason why I'm talking to you about them is because some of them you would have seen, some of them aren't new to you, but I just wanted to point out some of the differences. Because this week, I received this one here. This is the Hornby Railroad Class 73 TXS sound. And again, I wanted to try out this budget sound chip from Hornby for the Class 73 to hear and see hear the sound of what it's like. And it came packaged in a Class 73 body. So rather than sort of having a hassle of buying the chip and then downloading all the information separately and having to go to the Hornby website and register and then wait for it to download for hours or whatever, I just bought it as an all-in-one package. Because I also wanted the chassis and running gear as well, to sort of replace one of my other ones with Ringfield on it to make it a more reliable runner. Now, when it came with this body shell, which is 73109, the Battle of Britain. It also came with some etched nameplates. And you may be wondering to yourself, well, why isn't the body on the chassis? And I will explain that to you very, very shortly. So the first one to talk to you about is this GB Rail Freight Class 73. This is a Hornby one, but this originally was actually the original run of the Hornby Class 9 73-9 that they did, but it was completely wrong because they tried all basically Hornby did is put 73964 or whatever it was, the number, but they actually didn't do anything at all with the body, so it didn't look nothing like a 73-9 at all. And it was just looked like a Class 73-1, as you see here in front of you. So what I ended up doing is I ended up going on to, and at the time, there wasn't any Class 73s in the Rail Freight, GB Rail Freight livery at the time. So I ended up going on to Railtech and getting some transfers for it and getting some nameplates. So there's the nameplate Charlotte, and it's 73141, as you can see. And basically, I dirtied it up. I gave it a repaint on the roof to make it look like 73141. I rebadged it. It's got sound, it's got lights, and this is a Hornby Railroad modified Class 73. So this now looks like 73141, or for the pictures that I saw of it at the time. Now this one in front of you is actually a bit of a Frankenstein 73. Now, what it is that this is the chassis of that TXS Sound locomotive of 73109. So I'll just show you the body there. There it is. And I put the body of the Dutch liveried on it. And the reason was because I'd originally had a Dutch liveried Class 73 in the dapole. But quite frankly, it was garbage. It was absolutely awful. It's the early dapole Class 73s were absolutely awful runners. They just, and I bought it in the hope that one that because you could only get it as a dapole, and I wanted to thought, oh well, the dapole's the better one. So I tried my luck. I sort of knew that it was one of the early ones, so I knew I might have issues with it. And even with the Stay Alive, it was just garbage. It just wouldn't run properly at all. And I decided to get rid of it. So what I decided to do is, because I actually sincerely believe that these Hornby Class 73s, these better versions, let's say the upgraded versions, are actually a lot better. And even the old Lima 73s, which is one behind you, even that stands the test of time, and it's got a great shape to it. So this particular one here is actually the chassis of that TXS Sound fitted Class 73, and it's got a body shell which I bought separately. But even so, because I got the Class 73 TXS Sound for such a cheap price, the actual body shell was almost basically comparable of buying a brand new one, complete. But you can't actually get the Dutch liveried with TXS Sound. They come as the DCC fitted or something like that. I can't remember. And this runs lovely. As far as the sound's concerned, it sounds like a 73. It sounds really good. The only thing I have to say I'm disappointed with is the horns, because the horns aren't really. The horns tend to be. I don't know whether it is with some of the stuff with Hornby, their railroad range. I don't know, or their TXS sound. I don't know whether they've got like generic sounds, like it's sort of like the same horns across the range. But this is definitely not the horns of a 73. That I would say. And I should know because I've actually got a number of Class 73s here with sound in it. So although it sounds really good in terms of its engine running, it's diesel, it's electric, that sounds great. And that's why I bought it. The horns I was a bit dubious of. And then there's also other things that I kind of think to myself, that Hornby could have done to make it more relevant. Stuff like, they put the guards whistle and stuff like that at like function 19 or something like that, and you'd think that that'd be one of the ones you'd want to put towards the front end, like the lower numbers, and put some of the stuff that's more irrelevant. But nonetheless, I'm really pleased with this Class 73, and it does actually run really, really lovely. Although it suffered with the same issue as the 47, where I had to put a Stay Alive in it as well. So it's actually got the addition of a Stay Alive in that as well. So hopefully the sound won't actually cut out, and it's absolutely beautiful. So the next 73 to talk to you about is this Network Southeast, and it's actually a Lima Class 73. And I bought this one because I got it off of eBay and I got it at a very, very reasonable price. And there's not a mark on it. And it's virtually mint, to be honest. It runs really well under DC, but under DCC, I have converted it to DCC, but I'm still not overly happy with it. So I'm not sure what I'm doing with this one, because I forgot that I'd actually pre-ordered the TXS Sound version of this, which is due out in June. Now, whether or not I end up just getting a new chassis for it, or have this running as a dummy, I'm not too sure about. But it is actually running. It does run as a DCC. It's actually got a CD. I keep knocking the tripod. My apologies. It's actually got a CD motor in it at the moment, and people were saying before that CD motors work really well in them, and I find that they work well to a point, but on their low end speeds they're not as good, and it's just trying to get that reliability. So I'm wondering whether I've still kept the parts for the old Ringfield side of it, so whether I put the old Ringfield motor back in it, and take out the CD motor off of it. Again, I'm not too sure about yet, so I'm still working on this one. So that's 73126, and the thing being is the TXS version, which is something that really irritates me, is exactly the same. And it's a bit annoying really, because when you want different running numbers and things like that, and companies make the same running numbers, it's, you know, you end up having to renumber everything in order to try and get different locomotives. So it's a bit frustrating from that point of view, that the TXS Network Southeast version that they're bringing out is exactly the same as this one, except with an upgraded body, I should imagine, a more crisp body, and a better, obviously the better running gear and better chassis. My next Class 73 is this one, and this is 73212 in the GB Rail Freight livery. Now, it wasn't always in this livery, because this actually used to be originally an old BR blue body, which I then repainted into the Network Rail yellow, which you may have seen running around, excuse me, for a while. And then it got repainted into the GB Rail Freight livery, and it's got a blue roof. So this week I finally got the because this has been an ongoing project for about 6 months, and that's only because of the fact that I did the actual main livery, and then I kind of got a bit lazy with the transfers, and then when I got the transfers for the HST, I decided to order up the transfers at the same time for this 73. So this Class 73 has actually got the blue roof on it, and I will put up an image somewhere on here to show you what I was going for, because later on, I think 212 lost its blue roof to a grey roof, and I think it might actually been converted to a 73.9 now, but I'm not 100% certain on that. And this one's actually a dead loco. It's actually just a rolling chassis, so it's quite good in terms of, if I want to double head it, I can just double head it. I don't have to worry about speed matching it or anything like that. So that's one of the reasons why I did it. So even if you've got an old broken locomotive that doesn't run, you can still take the gut out the inside and still have it as a rolling chassis, and then you can use it for double heading and things, and not worry about speed matching and all the rest of it, because it will just run. I've got this gorgeous Class 73 109 in the depot, so I can't really have two of them running on the layout. So that's a bit frustrating. Now, the only way I might be able to do something with this, now I was debating what I was going to do with this, because whether I could possibly try and take off the numbers, but I know there's ways of doing it, and I have done it before, but I don't know how much damage it would cause to the actual body, in which case, if that ends up happening, I'd end up having to repaint the whole lot, which I don't particularly want to do. And there's so much detail. It's like this Spitfire, the 109, the Battle of Britain. If it wasn't named, and it was just a plain 73 109, then I could probably just take that number off and just put a 7 or a different number on it, and knowing that I don't have to repaint any of this. But because it's got the Spitfire on it, and it's got the Battle of Britain nameplates, and it's all there, I'd probably have to do some work to it. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And as you can see, I mean, the Dapol version is so much more nicer. And because this is one of the later Dapol versions, and it's got sound fitted on it with Lego Man Biffo sound, it actually runs and sounds awesome. And I'm really, really pleased with this one. So I'm really happy with that one. One of my other 73s is this Southern Class 73, which GB Rail Freight took over. And again, it's why I have it on my layout. And I've always liked the Southern livery, so I'm really pleased with it. I really like it a lot. So again, this is a Dapol version, and because again, this is one of the later versions, this one doesn't have the same running issues as some of the earlier ones. So, and this one's, like I said, non-sound fitted. This one here is my Class 73 Dapol, and this hasn't got sound either, but it does run lovely, and it goes really, really well as an alternative to the Class 33 that you saw earlier, to go with the blue 4TC set, and it runs absolutely beautifully. I'm really pleased with this one as well. And last but by no means least is this Class 73 Dapol in the Southwest Trains livery, and this has got DCC sound fitted on it as well. I think this one's got a Legoman Biffo on it as well. I think both of them are. I think the Battle of Britain and this one are both Legoman Biffo, and the 73141's actually got the coastal DCC sound in it. So this concludes the end of today's video, and thank you for joining me today, and I hope you've enjoyed that look of my recent arrivals and upgrades and projects and things like that. And until the next time, my name's Susanna and I live with trains. Goodbye.